Meditate scripts, study precepts. That's how you get built up. Read a little bit. Meditate scripts, study precepts. That's how you get built up. Class comes on 7 days of the week, 3 times a day. IUIC, log on. Class comes on 7 days of the week, 3 times a day. IUIC, log on. You bound to fall, you not keeping these laws, statutes, and the commandments. Christ gon' return like a thief in the night, and the wicked gon' perish. You bound to fall, you not keeping these laws, statutes, and the commandments. Christ gon' return like a thief in the night, and the wicked gon' perish. Last night I had a dream and took the kingdom.
Welcome to the Jew Journal. My name is Officer Zakar. I'm your host here with my co-host,
Soldier Nathaya.
And today we're going to be going over some current events that are going on out here in the world. And what we're going to do is pair these with the biblical scriptures so that you can be edified on what's going on in today's world and where we are at this current time in the Bible. So, what's been going on here in the recent news to this few week or the month, maybe you could say. One thing that's hot out here is the racist Chinese commercial, and I think a lot of the news shows and the articles say the most racist commercial ever about a Asian woman putting a so-called African American in the washer and him coming back out as a bright, fair-skinned Asian man. All right, a lot of people was very upset about that. So let's see.
改变只需一颗俏笔洗衣溶珠，俏笔全国招商热线400-800-5086。
Let's see if we can find that in the Bible and correlate it with the scriptures that we got today. Because what our people fail to understand is that racism, that hatred that the other nations, particularly the Asians, which are called Moab in the Bible, they have always had that for you so-called blacks. Always from the beginning of the time, since you came out of the land of Egypt. And we're going to get that out of the Bible. Let's prove that. Let's go to Numbers here. Let's go to Numbers chapter 22. We're going to start at verse 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 22, verse 1. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho.
All right. Moab is the ancient name for Chinese. All right, Moab is the ancient name for Chinese. That's what God calls them in the Bible. All right, read on.
And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites.
So Balak is the king. All right, Balak is the king of the Moabites at this time when we are coming out of Egypt. And he is very worried because he saw what we did to his brother, the Ammonites, or the Amorites, some other Africans, not his brother, excuse me. What he did to some other Africans. So he's very worried on what may happen to his people. So let's see what he does. Let's jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. He sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
Because when you read in the Bible, the Most High says the number of the children of Israel are like the sand of the sea. They cannot be numbered.
Right.
So the so-called white man who is here in America, he tries to keep census on us to see how many of us it is here, just like Pharaoh did. So he can deal with us wisely according to how many people it is. They put out more BS shows like Empire and Scandal, things of that nature to keep you dumbed down and stooped down so you'll never actually find out who you are. That's why that census is out there.
Right.
So we have here Balaam. He sees the children of Israel like the sand of the sea, multitude stretching over the whole land. Let's see what he does in verse 6.
Verse 6. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me.
Oh, so let me correct that. Balak sent unto Balaam to curse the children of Israel. Okay, so Balak, the king of the Moabites, has went out to a diviner named Balaam, and he wants to do what? Read that again. Verse 6.
I pray thee, curse me this people.
So this Moabite, this Asian, went to a diviner to curse the children of Israel. So like I said, this commercial on this racism that you see in that washing machine commercial is nothing new.
Same thing.
It's the same thing happening over and over and over again. It goes all the way back to when we was just coming out of Egypt.
Right.
Read verse 6 again.
Verse 6. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure, I shall prevail, that we may smite them.
So his objective for cursing us was to kill us.
Right.
So this is what our people have to understand. Those people are not your friends. They have no regard for you. They have no regard for what you eat. While we line up and on a daily basis in front of their Chinese shops, you have no idea what you're eating.
Right.
I'd say we're about 50 meters from where all those live dogs are being sold, and just down here, you've got this. I'm just watching a bunch of people roasting their dogs. Oh my God! The annual Dog Meat Festival upsets practically everyone who isn't taking part in it.
20年来，每年的夏至，在广西玉林都有大吃荔枝跟狗肉的习俗。
他们要保留吃狗肉的传统，不受外地人的干预。
Animal rights activists say the dog meat trade is cruel, unhygienic and poorly regulated, with stolen pets and strays making their way to the dinner table. Despite all this, and spurred on by fierce backlash from across China, some Yulin locals say this year they're even more set on ploughing down man's best friend by the cageful. Yulin is a town of 6 million, not far from China's southern border of Vietnam. We arrived the day before summer solstice, and everyone was getting ready to celebrate by killing some dogs. So we're just heading down to Dongkou Shichong, which is one of the main meat markets here in Yulin. It's where a lot of people obviously buy their meat, so I'm hoping that there'll be guys buying dogs in preparation for the festival. Oh my God. The smell is just, I don't know, because it's meaty, it's like horribly meaty, and it's kind of mixed with that familiar doggy smell. It just really turns your stomach. But, you know, I don't hang out in meat markets that often, and a lot of Chinese meat markets, to be fair, are pretty explicit. So maybe this is normal. Maybe my stomach would be turned anyway, even if I didn't see so many dead dogs. 你为什么喜欢吃狗肉啊？
它很香啊，很补啊，身体健康。
觉得不贵吗？
贵17、18块不贵。
猪肉多少钱？
猪要15块，牛要35，牛要更贵啊。
你觉得吃狗肉不是很残忍吗？
哪里残忍？鸡牛要更残忍咯，那个牛帮你们耕田呢，你更残忍咯。
宠物狗可以不吃，普通的狗就应该吃，没啥了不起。我们的国家还要建设嘛，建设要不要挣钱？是吧？他养狗也是为了挣钱，也是为了国家的繁荣。
Where do they come from? 师傅，这些狗是从哪里来的？
养来的，大帮的养来的，不是宠物搞这个。
如果你们养狗的话，为什么这么便宜？因为养狗很贵，对吗？因为他们只是
宠物狗的贵，这不是宠物狗。如果是宠物狗，我们也不敢杀，懂不懂？这个不是宠物狗。
So when I just asked the guy delivering the dogs where they came from, he said they're from Guizhou, outside of the province. But no one seems to be able to give me an exact answer for where these dogs are from. Everything must go into whatever they're cooking. There's they're just kind of blindly chopping. I'm really scared to open my mouth because I think that there's kind of like dog meat going inside it. 你每天卖多少个？100多。最近很多媒体来看这个话题，你怎么回答他们？你怎么回答他们？你觉得不残忍吗？
他叫我不杀就不杀，我叫他不吃饭他要吃，叫我不杀就不杀，他有生命资格吗？
It seems like people are very much aware of the bad name that they're getting for eating dog, but they're very defensive and quite hostile towards us. On the other hand, they say that it's their right to eat dog because living conditions have got better in China. They're able to eat dog more and they're not forcing anyone else to eat them. The butchery is bleak enough, but it's the downtown market where people are buying the freshest, locally sourced produce that really messes with your head. So these, actually, to be fair, look more like the kind of dogs I was expecting to be bred for eating. Apart from that guy over there who looks distinctly like my Bichon Frise. I thought I was talking to her pet, and then she said, "Yeah, if someone wants to buy him, I'll sell him for food."
我都实说啊，实说，是吧？我是做生意的，我一家里那么多人，老人小孩都有，老公又没有，你叫我去哪里找钱咯？不会像人家那去做鸡吧？是吧？
我知道
啊，我是靠我本事吃饭。
你们今天有吃狗吗？吃狗肉？
我吃狗啊！我养狗不吃狗的。
真的？
你不信你去我家里看，你说那个锅头里有一点点狗味儿。
It's a business. They want to sell the pets whether they're as pets or whether they're as meat. They just want to sell them.
They don't eat the same things that you eat. They don't have a dietary law like God gave us. So they will feed you the things that they eat, like mice, like rat, like dog, like cat. Anything that they can chop up and throw some soy sauce on, black people done probably ate it. All right, so it says the whole point for that curse was to kill us. Read on.
And that I may drive them out of the land.
All right, so let's see. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 22, because I mentioned that this has been going on forever. And we read it here, coming out of Egypt, they was against us. When we was at our lowest point, we didn't have a land. We was wandering around in the wilderness. And this Asian, this Moabite, comes out and gets a diviner to try to curse us in our lowest state.
Right.
So let's get Leviticus 22 and 25, because a lot of our people tend to think that that was then. That has changed.
Right.
Well, let's see if that's according to God. Leviticus 22, 25.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 22, verse 25. Neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your God of any of these, because their corruption is in them.
What did God say about the strangers?
Because their corruption is in them.
Anybody, any and everybody is a stranger who is not a part of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are the 12 tribes of Israel. And anybody outside of that is known as a stranger to God. He only knows you. So God said, what about them? Because they're what?
Because their corruption is in them.
Their corruption is in them. That means that that's how God made them.
Right.
God made them to not like you. Right. God made them to be against you because he don't want you with them. He don't want you to ever think that these people are your friends at all, because they're not. It says their corruption is in them. Read on.
Because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them, they shall not be accepted for you.
So their corruption is in them, meaning they will never change. Just like when we came out of Egypt, they was cursing us, trying to get us killed. all the way up until today, where they still making racist commercials, let you know they don't like you at all. When you go into their stores, they have an eye on you. They don't trust you at all. All they want you to do is spend your money, get out. And in some areas, they don't even want your money because they'll have a whole area with just Chinese letters on it. Basically saying, don't come here. We don't want your money. So let's go to Psalms 83 real quick. Let's go to Psalms 83. Because God spoke about that. God spoke about that. It's just our job as a people to seek out the words of God. So we can get the answers. So we can strengthen ourselves. Come together and stop reaching out and depending on other people. Read that Psalms 83. Let's start at verse 2.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
So, contrary to popular belief, there are people that hate God. There are people that hate God. And those people are anybody that does not keep his commandments. So, guess what? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you can fall into that category of hating God. Just because you refuse to keep his commandments. God don't see it as you see it. Well, he's working with me. Or he knows my heart. No, God says you hate him if you don't do what he says. But God does have enemies. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So God's enemies have taken crafty counsel against his people. That's singular. God has a particular people. And they took crafty counsel against his people. Let's find out who these people are. Keep reading.
And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So one of those crafty counsels that they took amongst each other was to come and cut us off from being a nation. How did they do that? They separated us by what? Language. They separated us by changing our nationalities. Where I can look at my so-called Jamaican brothers and they'll think I'm not they same people because they got dropped off in Jamaica. And I got dropped off in America and we speak a different language. My so-called Hispanic brothers don't think I'm their brother because they speak Spanish. And some of them might be a little bit lighter than me. But we all suffered the same atrocities. So these people came together, made a crafty plan and said, let's cut off the name of Israel. That they don't remember that they're brothers anymore. Read on.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent.
So they are all together with this. Read on.
For they are confederate against thee.
Now let's find out who these enemies of God are, who these enemies of us are, and see if we can correlate with these people today, if it happens to be those people that made that same racist commercial about throwing the black dude in the washing machine. Yeah, let's see.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
So off top, the first major enemy that we so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians have is the white man. God calls the Caucasian man Edom in the Bible, which means red. That's what God calls him. The first and foremost enemy we have is the so-called white man. But is that it? Read on.
And the Ishmaelites.
The so-called Arabs are our enemies also. Read on.
Of Moab and the Hagarenes.
All right, the Ishmaelites, and it says who? Of what?
Of Moab and the Hagarenes.
Of Moab. Moab, as I said once before, is the ancient name for the Chinese people here today. God said these are your enemies that have consulted together with all the other people. They may not like the so-called white man, but they came together on one accord to say, hey, let's destroy these niggas. Let's make their self-esteem low. Let's make commercials where they get turned down by a 15-year-old looking Chinese girl with slanted eyes.
And you see the black dude, he going up to him, lusting after the so-called Chinese woman. And you see what she do to the black guy.
Exactly.
But the thing about it, though, a point I wanted to pull out of this is that, like you said, we have enemies because a lot of our people think that only the so-called white man is the enemy, because he gunned us down on TV, because he put us on slave ships, put us in chains, put us in slavery, Let's jump to, let me pull Sirach chapter 12, verse 10.
Sirach 12 and 10?
Yes, sir. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, and see what the Most High God said about our enemies. Because like the officer said, Moab, the so-called Chinese, are our enemies as well, right?
So it says here in Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10, that's in your Apocrypha for those that do not know. It says here, never trust thine enemy.
It says, never trust thine enemy. So like I said in the book of Psalms, chapter 83, one of our enemies is so-called Moabites, the Chinese, right?
Right.
Most High God said, never trust thy enemy, because, like I said, once again, a lot of our people think that only the so-called white men is our enemies. But just by that commercial alone, it shows us that we have other enemies as well, which are the so-called Chinese.
Exactly.
Just wanted to pull that out.
Excellent scripture. Excellent scripture. So, and you made a good statement, because you pointed out that in that commercial, you have the so-called Asian, the Moabite, coming up or putting a cube into the black man's mouth because he's trying to come up and kiss her and that.
Right.
That's a lust that a lot of our people deal with today, going after the other nations.
Other nations, right.
Especially marrying the Asians.
Right.
I know it's very heavy on the west coast of America, where there's a lot of black people that have married Asians.
Right.
Israelites that have married Moabites.
Right.
All right. So let's see. What does God say about that? Is that just something that's fine with him? What does God think about that? Let's go to Tobit 4 and 12. Let's go to Tobit 4 and 12 and see what it says about marrying the other nations. Is that cool with God? What does he think about that?
All right. This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
So God is speaking through Tobit, our forefather, and says, beware of all whoredom and take a wife that is of your own nation.
Right.
Your own seed, your own lineage. Don't be chasing after these other nations.
Right.
Read on.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
There we go. We see that word strange again. Because God don't know these other nations.
Right.
He don't deal with the Asians. He ain't dealing with the Arabs. He ain't dealing with the Edomites. He's dealing with you so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians.
Right.
That's why we catching hell. Because we try to push up on Asian women.
Right.
We trying to assimilate with them.
Right.
Read on.
Which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets.
So one of those main reasons is because we are the children of the prophets.
Right.
You know how great of an honor that is to be called the children of the prophets? The greatest book that has ever been written. The #1 bestseller every single year.
Every year.
The Bible is of you. Your forefathers are in that thing.
Right.
We are their children. Read on.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
All of our forefathers married wives of their own people.
Right.
They wasn't looking for another nation. They weren't looking at no Moabites. And when you do read about that in the Bible, you see that our people were in the midst of sin. Even Solomon was in the midst of sin, marrying outside of his nation. God is not for that. God is not down with that. God don't know your heart when it comes to that.
Right.
God don't only see love when it comes to that. God don't say you can love who you want to. No, that's not in the Bible. Read on.
And were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
Read on.
Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them.
It says, despise not your brethren, despise not your people,
right,
in not taking a wife of your own nation. So in the eyes of God, when you marry a so-called Caucasian, when you marry an Asian, a Chinese, a Japanese, a East Indian, an Arab, God says you hate your people.
Right.
And I know a lot of us out there like to think it's just love. I can love who I want to. But God says you hate the mother that birthed you. God says you hate your grandmother. God says you hate your father. You hate your brother.
Right.
Because you decided not to take a woman that looks like your mother of that same nation. You went outside that nation. You said, my mother ain't good enough. I want somebody outside of that.
Right.
And I'm going to marry them. That's hate in the eyes of God.
Right.
That's what he says. So let's get the law on that too. Why did God tell you not to do that? It's a reason for it. God has a reason for everything. He does not give empty words, empty promises. Everything has a reason behind it. Give me that Deuteronomy 7 and 3.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shall you make marriages with these Asians. Neither shall you be in commercials walking up on them trying to kiss them. Read on.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me.
So God does not want you to marry these other nations because they will turn you away from God.
Right.
You cannot. Now, you know, our people. One thing that bothers me about our people, we've got people out here that are married to other nations,
right?
So-called Caucasians, Asians, Edomites, Moabites, and you want to be pro-black. How can you be pro-black and you married to another nation?
Right.
How can you be angry they out here shooting down your own people in the streets and you laying next to a white woman every night? How can you be mad that they feeding you rat, cat, and dog and taking advantage of your people in these hair weave stores? You laid up with a daggone Asian.
And you see that a lot in the entertainment world.
In the entertainment world, it's crazy.
Right.
So who is that? Matter of fact, the whole cast of what's that? What is that? I can't think of it. It's got Tay Diggs in it. It's got what's that other dude that plays in Empire right now? Terrence Howard in it. Best Man.
That's what you're talking about.
It's got Best Man in them. Don't you know that all of them are either married to white women or Asians? Terrence Howard loved him Asian women. Terrence Howard has went through 3 or 4 Asian women as a wife.
Wow.
3 or 4 of them. Wow. Tay Diggs said, the black woman is annoying to me.
Wow.
When he was filming Best Man, he couldn't wait to get home to his white wife. He does not want his kid, who is an Israelite according to the Bible, to be referred to as black because he's black.
Right.
That's how much Tay Diggs hates his people.
So that means that whole movie is just fake.
That whole movie's fake because all of them married to black women.
Right, exactly. It's all for show. They put it out there for the
It's for money.
Yeah, they put it out there for us.
It's put it out there for us, but behind the scenes, they can't wait to get home to that Asian woman. Couldn't wait to get home to that white woman.
And the crazy thing about it is that even with some of the so-called blacks, you know what I'm saying, with our people, even if they do have a black woman, they try to get them to have the, how can I say, the attributes or the characteristics
exactly right.
of these other nations.
You mean,
with
you mean the blonde hair?
Yeah, with the blonde hair.
They got a black wife with white women's hair, so they get a little bit of
black
both.
is me with the blonde hair in the head.
It is madness.
Yes, madness.
That is madness. God said, read that in verse 4 again.
Verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me.
And guess what? It is very hard. It's not impossible because all things are possible with God. But it is very hard to present this truth to somebody that has another nation as a wife.
Right.
They're trying to find ways to bring them in. Which you can't do that with God. God from the beginning said, don't marry them.
Right.
So if you find yourself married to one now, after watching this video, you got to make the necessary steps to separate from them. Right. Thus saith the Lord. Read on, finish that out.
That they may serve other gods.
So what happens is when you marry these other nations, they turn you away from the God of Israel.
Right.
You don't want to keep the commandments because your wife can't keep the commandments because God never gave the commandments to her people.
Right.
So you don't want to keep them. You turn your back on God. You go into Christianity. Read on.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
God is angry at that. God is very angry when you take your holy seed and you mix it with another nation. God says that he wants it to be a pure and holy seed. Marry inside of your nation.
Right,
so we're going to take a real quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. You are watching the Jew Journal.
All right, brothers. Let's have fun with it.
Step up on the scene, casting at them doctrines and them idols you esteem. Yeah, you might think it's a little extreme, but I'm all about my people, yeah, they need that vaccine. Oh, no actors, but we bout that action. See them purple garments on with that gold accent. Yeah, you say you got the name, but your fringe is absent. Y'all going backwards like subtraction. So keep it in step. Sabbath day approaching, so you know it's time to prep. Sound the alarm, cause my people overslept. Yeah, you hear them trumpets blowing, sounding like a quartet. Oh, yeah, this that purple rain. So the Bible you can't sleep on. When Christ return, yeah, the Lord gon' turn that heat on, and all that nonsense gon' be gone.
let's go. Let me show you where I got the inspiration from. Give me the text.
You gonna go into the Bible?
I'm gonna go into the Bible.
You mean these niggas ain't read the Bible?
They've never read the Bible.
Damn. They watch Prince videos, but they ain't read the Bible.
There you go.
That's befitting. Come to Negro.
Okay, my turn. Purple rain on me. Exponential growth, that's why you hating on me. This is IUIC, acting like you don't see. Boy, we know you frontin'. Please. See us on the corners, unlike you, we be like read. Coming out the scriptures, yeah, you know just how we teach. Teach class online 7 days of the week. Being earned everything that you wish you could be. You see it? Shabbat, whole campus surfing. Y'all ain't the original school, you just refurbished version. Ursum, open your mouth but won't speak with no verses. We got Bibles while y'all yapping, man, y'all captain is worthless. Ursum, I know, but the truth is the truth. Run your damn mouth and got Deke in the booth. Having fun with your slander, cause our fruit is our proof. Yeah, we worldwide with it, never mention you fools. Move. That's right, working men coming through. We got jobs, we ain't living off our women Hebrew. That's a nigga, my dude. But you say you a Jew? Hell out of here with that debating, you negating the truth now. Ain't nobody playing leather headband, man. Yeah, we heard what you said, but it came back. Man, we the prophets of the Lord. Better understand, put that foolishness aside and humble down, clown.
Simon is so great. Nobody else is allowed to wear that color. It was only him, so it was always a dignified royal garment. So they were mocking Christ in a garment. Purple garment on it, and mocked him.
We the rulers, purple rain, excuse me, don't mean to boast. Who the Israelites and all you gonna see is purple and go from coast to coast, we in the street, filled with the Holy Ghost. All this purple up in this jug gon' make you have an overdose. We the leaders of the people, so ride 44 and 4. Don't know no other Israelites that go harder than we go. Just left a quest for 12, try to prophesy to Island folk. Next trip West Africa, we waking up the Ivory Coast, we been to die. If you don't, it's suicide. Coco Bang, purple raining in your hood like them hustlers working day. We is where united twice, dance right, don't curse the night. We gon' gather 1/3 and watch the world birth and play. Everything changed since we came with the true God of Yah. Now you heard your church of fire. Yeah, it's true, you want some style. Why they hating on us? The prophets back, it ain't a game. Double honor to our Bishop D. Hate can't stand the rain.
So when I read these scriptures, brothers and sisters, I saw meaning in purple. I saw meaning in that color. So as a people, we've been stripped of our royal heritage. The wicked mocked our king, our leader, our commander with purple. Well, as servants, we gonna mark this kingdom and raise up the 12 tribes of Israel doing it.
Can you stand up? Like with the tribes. See, this is not just made up. All this stuff comes out of the scriptures. And if you got a leader that cannot explain his doctrine, that's a fool. Exactly. Everything that we are about, we can explain it.
Yep.
Out of the scriptures.
Rah. Purple rain, fly in the plane. Purple garment so clean, you don't see a stain. All that hating bring us fame, so we do our thing. Purple rain, we giving you haters chest pain. It's a shame how these brothers got hate on the brain. They got the spirit of Cain, so we in our own lane. Nobody saying we'll jump in front of a freight train, but they killed the prophets and these brothers will do the same thing. Dang, I ain't about to play with kids all up in our Kool-Aid, but they don't know what the flavor is. Tell them what the flavor is, great. Now they hating this, I wish I could see their faces when they looking mad playing this. Man, hard in the paint, I might slam. We supposed to be bros, we supposed to be fam, but you on the internet talking greasy like spam. Keep talking smart and we gon' clown you like Pam. Man, don't mess with the prophets that's out here wearing purple. We in the same mind, you ain't messing with my circle. A bunch of lions with Bibles, we'll let these scriptures hurt you. We jumping hurdles, we got the whole world on our shoulders. Sit back and let that purple rain. Don't kick against the bricks, don't try to come against the grain. Ain't nothing I can say to him. I'm about to go and pray for him. God.
We them dudes all purple, all gold. Unbelievers complain, y'all hurtful, y'all cold. I'm looking at your journal, then I'm looking at your members. Every year, same people, y'all circle look old. Y'all turtles move slow, we ain't with the feelings. Yeah, you ain't growing, you hit your spiritual ceiling. Y'all be hiding sins, not us, we revealing. Yeah, our nation's sick, and our people need a healing. But y'all ain't got the medicine, actions don't show. Y'all late, call them Letterman. Get it? Late show, David Letterman. Yeah, I'm at the gates, I see David, they like let him in. All this purple everywhere, yeah, we stay ahead of him. Hating on the bishops, man, you fools stay sweating him. Why y'all steady hating? You supposed to be our brethren. Galatians 5:9, get rid of all that leavening. I bet you like it here, you look comfortable. When them chariots come, I'm trying to be punctual. Yeah, you lacking wisdom, so your breakdown dysfunctional. Y'all be playing kid games, go and grab a Lunchable. Haha, shame on you. We can't grow, so I'ma put the blame on you. You sound stupid, so now this purple rain's on you. Better repent or he gon' put them flames on you. Burn up.
Because we what? Because we love and that's what these brothers don't have. They don't have the love for the brethren. For you to go on YouTube and speak evil of any man, you understand? That's hatred. And without proof, without talking to that man without proof, that's hatred.
We them Bible beating prophets in that purple and gold. In them scriptures we on fire, y'all just mad cause y'all cold. Shut up. Every time we make a move, y'all complaining. Y'all shooting shots about the purple, now that purple is raining. Get them. It was written, y'all ain't spitting nothing new. They was hating on Messiah, now they hating on us too. They be waiting on us too, trying to see what we gon' do. We got 100,000 views, y'all just mad cause y'all got 2. Do the work, jerk, busybody. Over here we united and y'all ain't hurting anybody. I don't even know why y'all keep trying on. Know why y'all keep coming, tell your wife to wash your garment. Y'all be teaching, looking bumming. We the Israelites, brothers, we got work to do. How you find the time to hate another brother's work he do? That's what some old jerk would do. We don't play them hating games. Y'all just over mad cause y'all keep seeing all this purple rain. IUIC is growing, every year getting bigger. Won't let our sisters be hoes, won't let our brothers be niggas. We not the type of camp to sit around and talk about others. Y'all can hate your life away, but we got love for our brothers. Y'all brothers talking about colors. Are you serious, cuz? We the flipping sons of God, not the Crips and the Bloods. Y'all must be sipping the suds. I think y'all feeling the buzz. I could've swore I heard them hating, but that ain't what it was. It couldn't be. Maybe they just trying to get some fame. Maybe they just hoping we might justify their name. They call us purple rain cause we'll be raining over nations. Revelations 13:10. Brothers, please have patience.
So when I read scripture, I try to get into it. I try to witness what I'm reading. So I'm witnessing the Son of God come out with a crown of thorns on his head, a purple robe on, and they're mocking him. And I said, you know what? I said, the Spirit said, get a purple garment. The same purple that they mocked our king, and we're going to put on and mock our enemies and tear down his kingdom in the Spirit of God. Can I get a witness? So I don't want to hear no foolishness about Prince in the purple rain.
Welcome back to the Jew Journal. I'm your host, Officer Zakar, with my co-host here,
Sergeant Nathaya.
And today we're going into that racist commercial that we saw from the Asians, who God calls Moab in the Bible, right, and how he tells you not to marry them according to the law in Deuteronomy 7:3. So let's get how God feels about them. Does God speak about the Asians, the Moabites in the Bible, and how does he feel about them particularly? Let's get that in Psalms, or it's 60 and 8?
60 and verse 8.
Let's get that. Go ahead.
The book of Psalms, chapter 60, verse 8. Moab is my wash pot.
Hold on. They what?
Moab is my wash pot.
Moab, like I said once before, is the ancient name for who we now call the Asians. God said they are his wash pot. Do you know what a wash pot is? A wash pot today, in modern day's term, is a dry cleaners.
Right.
It is a washing machine.
Right.
So now, go ahead.
It's only right for them to have the washing machine.
It's only right. Why? Because that's in their spirit. We just read earlier where God said that their blemishes are in them.
Right.
Their imperfections are in them. This is how he made them.
Right.
Moab loves washing machines. They love dry cleaners. That's why you see so many of them with them. It's in their spirit. They can't help it.
Right.
So read that part again. What does he say about them?
Moab is my wash pot.
God says Moab, the Asians, they his wash pot.
Right.
He washes dirty drawers with them. That's how much he cares about them. He does not care about them at all. So, you know, we get these racist commercials about us hating our skin color and who we are.
Right.
Well, God don't like you either.
So when we see those commercials, we see the actual truth of the Bible.
We see the truth of the Bible. Exactly right. Because we study this thing. We the Israelites. We know who they are. We know why they got that washing machine.
That's why the washing machine.
That's why it was in
the Bible. Right.
You see racism. We see, oh, she's just living out her true nature.
Right.
That's who she is.
Right.
Washing machine hating black people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense because God said they was our enemies.
Right.
And they're a wash pot.
Right.
So let's get there. Let's go to the next scripture here. Let's go to Isaiah 41. Let's go to Isaiah 41, because let's see if God feels a certain way about us now.
Right.
Because we know that we are the Israelites according to the Bible, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And we know that the so-called Asians, the Chinese in particular, are called Moab in the Bible.
Right.
So how does God feel about us? So let's get this Isaiah 41, I believe it's verse 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 8. But thou, Israel.
Thou, Israel. That is who we are. Our God-given name. Our biblical name is Israel. Read on.
Are my servant. Jacob, whom I have chosen. The seed of Abraham.
We are the seed of Abraham. Read on.
My friend. Thou, whom I have taken from the ends of the earth. And called thee from the chief men thereof.
God called us from who?
From the chief men thereof.
Do you know what it means to be the chief man thereof? That means that God formed us out of the best people walking on the face of the earth.
Right.
He formed us out of Adam, out of Noah, out of Abraham, out of Isaac, out of Jacob, out of Samson, out of David, out of Jesus the Christ. This is who we descend from. So read that part again. He took us from the who?
And called thee from the chief men thereof.
So we are made from the best stock on the face of the earth. So there's no commercial that can, what you would say, hurt our feelings, hurt our self-esteem, because we know that we come from the best man on the face of the earth.
That means you can't tell us nothing, because we already know who we are according to the Bible.
We already know who we are according to the Bible. Make all the commercials that you want to. They ain't going to do nothing but make God mad. That's all they're going to do. So let's go to Isaiah 43 and verse 21. Let's get some more on that. Because we don't want anybody watching to say, oh, that's just one thing. You're taking that out of context. Let's see. Isaiah 43, 21.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 21. This people have I formed for myself.
This people God formed for himself out of the best people on the face of the earth. He took Abraham. He called him. And Abraham had Isaac. And Isaac had Jacob. And Jacob had 12 sons. And that's who we descend from. So God formed us out of our forefathers to make us the best people on the face of the earth.
That's why the Most High God compared us to fine gold in
fine
the scriptures.
Gold. That's an excellent point. Let's get that.
Hey, bring it out.
Let's get that in Jeremiah.
Bring it out.
Let's get that. No, it's Lamentations. Lamentations chapter 4. Because we seeing how God feels about us. All the other nations may hate us. Yeah, true that. Go ahead, hate our skin, hate who we are, hate what we can do. But how does God feel about us? That's the most important thing. Read that, Lamentations 4 and 2.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 2. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold.
God said that we what?
We're comparable to fine gold.
We comparable to fine gold. Not that little 10-karat gold you get in the mall from the Arabs.
The bubblegum machine.
The bubblegum machine gold. We ain't that. We that fine gold that's hard to find. That's how precious we are in the eyesight of God. So let's go back to Isaiah 43 and verse 21. Read that again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 21. The Lord... You said 21?
43, 21.
21. 43, 21, I'm sorry. It says, this people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise.
How are we going to show forth God's praise? By keeping the commandments. By walking in the wisdom that he gave us. Putting on our fringes on our clothes. Walking with our head held high. Not letting some commercial hurt our self-esteem. It ain't gonna do nothing to us. We're gonna show forth our praise to God because he created us to be the best people on the face of the earth.
Out of the chief men.
The chief man that's on the face of the earth. Jump up to verse 7 in that same chapter.
Verse 7. Even every one that is called by my name.
So this goes for the man and the women. Every one of us that are called by the name of God, which are the Israelites. You black women. You black men. You Hispanic man, Hispanic women, Native Indian man and woman. Everybody that's called by the name of God, we are formed for his glory. We take it from the chief man, the best.
There's no need for the so-called black man to go to the Asian woman because we are made from the chief men that the Most High
We've got the best women on the face of the earth.
We got the best women on the earth.
It's no reason for a black woman to bleach her skin like little Kim has.
Exactly.
Or blonde her hair. Because God took you, he took you from the best man on the earth.
The best.
And guess what? The best man on the earth was created in the image of who? God. So there's no reason to take offense of this racist Chinese commercial. It don't mean nothing to us. We just try to point it out to you so you can wake up. Realize who you are. To hell with them Moabites. Because God got a judgment for them. And guess where that's found at? In the Bible. Go to Zephaniah chapter 2.
Oh, bring it up.
Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 2 and see what God got planned for these Asians, these Moabites. Go ahead and read it when you get it.
Washpot.
Washpot, right.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 8. That's where we at. I have heard the reproach of Moab.
God heard the reproach of Moab. He heard what he said, they've been saying about his chief man, about his people here on earth. Read on.
And the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people.
Making all these kind of commercials about cleaning up some black man to look like they're making commercials about how it's better to be a light, bright, fair-skinned Asian instead of a dark-skinned Israelite. The Most High has heard all of that. So let's read that from the top again.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 8. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, whereby they have reproached my people and magnified themselves against their border.
Read on.
Therefore, as I live, said the Lord of hosts.
Therefore, as I live. Now, I want you to understand what God is saying. What we say in today's term is, on my mama. On my life. We say that kind of thing. Now, we die, we turn back into the dust from which we came. God is eternal. He lives forever. He says, therefore, as I live. God said, on my life. What's he say about Moab?
Said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom.
Moab's going to be what?
Moab shall be as Sodom.
Let's think back in biblical history. What did God do to Sodom and Gomorrah? He wiped it off the face of the earth with fire. So God has prophesied, he said, oh my life, since they've been talking about my people, making commercials about them, I'm going to kill them. On my life, they're going to be like Sodom. Read on.
And the children of Ammon as Gomorrah.
And they little Asian cousins, the so-called Japanese, God said, I'm going to get them too. Because they in cahoots right along with them. Read on.
Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits and a perpetual desolation. The residue of my people shall spoil them.
So those that repent and keep the commandments and the faith in Christ, God said the remnant, the residue, we're going to spoil them. We're going to destroy them. Read on.
And the remnant of my people shall possess them.
And the what?
And the remnant of my people shall possess them.
Hold on. So God is saying that those that keep the commandments, that endure to the end, he says those same people making racist commercials about you, you're going to rule over them. They're going to be your slaves. And read the top again, verse 9, the top of that.
Therefore, as I live.
God said, on my life, this thing going to happen.
So it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. How we know that's going to happen? It ain't happened yet. How we know it's going to happen? Because God said he was going to put us into slavery on ships and send us all across the world. And guess what? It happened.
That happened.
We living in a country that ain't ours, talking about voting. So we know that this going to happen. Read verse 10.
Verse 10. This shall they have for their pride.
They're going to have this for their what?
This shall they have for their pride.
So prideful enough to make a commercial that they know it's racist. Come on now. You know daggone well that it's racist when you was filming the commercial. And when you put it out and you looked at it and said, yeah, I know that got a certain... So people ain't going to be happy about that, but
they don't care.
Who cares?
You got simple Jake going along with it as well. Just for the money. Just for the money. All you got to do is give him a...
Because you know in his heart of hearts, in his mind.
Yeah, he know.
He know what's up with that commercial.
He ain't thinking about that.
Once he read the script, he's like, damn, I'm going to pop out like an Asian? Come on, man. He knew what was up with that. So in verse 10 it says, he's going to do all that for what?
This shall they have for their pride.
Because they prideful. They think they better than us.
They really do.
God said, you think you better than my people? You're going to be their slaves then. On my life, I promise that. Read on.
Because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord.
Against the who?
Against the people of the Lord of hosts.
Blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, you are the people of the Lord.
That's right.
Thus saith God.
Right.
And because they are prideful against you, they have consulted with the other nations and confederate against them. God says for that, you're going to possess them.
Right.
God says you're going to possess them. So take comfort in that. That if you endure to the end, that is going to be your reward for these people that make commercials about hating you.
Right.
So let's get this in, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Let's get some more.
Ezra chapter 16, verse 1.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. All right, let's read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia.
Who? Babylon?
Babylon and Asia.
Babylon and Asia.
Right.
Now, this isn't talking about the ancient Babylon. This is talking about modern Babylon which is what?
Great.
America in the Bible. And Asia, the whole continent. He said, woe. When God says woe in the Bible, that means destruction.
Right.
Destruction to them. And why is it going to be destruction to them? Let's jump down here a little bit in this same chapter. No, matter of fact, let's go back one chapter and see why he says destruction to them. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 46. Let's read that.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 46. And thou, Asia, that are partaker of the hope of Babylon.
Asia, that wants to be just like America.
Right.
Wants to build up their trade, build up their cities with skyscrapers, want to be innovative in technology, the leader in technology, just like America wants to be. God said, woe unto them. Read on.
And art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch.
God call them what?
Thou wretch.
God says that them Moabites, them Asians, you are wretch. He don't like you at all. You his wash pot.
Wash pot.
You don't like us. God said, I don't like you.
Right.
And that's from the beginning. That ain't just because you made some racist commercial because it said that he made you that way.
Right.
He made you the way you are, and he didn't like you from the beginning.
Right.
The only reason he created the other nations was to serve the so-called blacks and Hispanics, the Israelites, according to the Bible.
And you got to point that out because somehow people get simple and they think that, they just putting them on blast because they made a commercial.
Exactly.
So they try to twist the scriptures and put it in their own words. But nah, the Most High God wrote this thousands of years ago. And now we just bringing it back up.
Exactly right. We're bringing it to your remembrance. And just in case you got that thought that we are one-sided, we angry, all of that, you just pulling out them scriptures because they made that commercial.
Right.
Give me Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. Did he call them a wretch after the commercial? No, like you said, this was written thousands of years ago, before we was born. God called the Asians wretch. Give me that in Isaiah 46 and 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done.
So God called them a wretch before me, you, anybody on the face of the earth that lives today was even thought of. He was calling them wretch. He was calling them washpots. He had already declared that you're going to be servants to my people. Oh, my life, the Most High said that. That's how you know the Most High is a black man. Because he said, as I live. Translate to today, on my life. Just like you so-called black man. Same lingo. You say on my life. On my mama. God speak the same way. He said, as I live, they gonna be slaves. They wretched. They wash pots. So let's get this. Let's end it off with this. So let's go to 2 Thessalonians. All right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 6. We're going to end it off with this. The Asians made a racist commercial. And if you're just now tuning in watching this class here, you are tuned in to the Jew Journal. Here where we go over current events, relating them to the Bible, pulling the scriptures out, giving you the understanding thereof that we are commanded to do, praying that you repent. All right, so let's read that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6.
The book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Hold on, God said it is a righteous thing to do what?
A righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
God said it is a righteous thing to repay them that trouble you. And he's not speaking about everybody. He's speaking about the people of the Lord. Those that vex you here on this earth, whether it be the so-called Caucasians, who God calls Edom, whether it be the so-called Asians, who God calls Moab and Ammon. So what if it be the so-called Arabs, who God calls the Ishmaelites, the East Indians, the Africans, who God calls Ham in the Bible. God said it's a righteous thing to repay them that trouble us. So let that rest in your spirit. Let them do whatever they want to when it comes to making these commercials, hating you who you are. Know that you are the people of the Lord, and God don't like them either. All right, and that's it for today's session, today's show here on the Jew Journal. Catch us live next time again. Shalom to you, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates on all our YouTube channels. Shalom.